This is FemTV backstage at Main Street Theatre with Marianne Pendino as she prepares for her one-woman show, The Attitude Club. The Attitude Club premiered in Houston on July 26, 1993, and will be extended into September.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to The Attitude Club. My name is Marianne, and I'm recovering from a bad attitude.
Hi, Marianne. Welcome.
Tonight is a speaker meeting here at the Attitude Club, and basically what that means is that I've been asked to come and tell you a little bit about some of the things I've experienced while coming here. And frankly, I'm a little surprised because I actually think I've learned a few things. I've discovered that change is a slow process. I just wish there was some way to change that. I've come to realize that regretting the past or living too far into the future is somewhat of a waste of time, because life is really something that has to be lived in the present moment. However, the only problem with living in the moment is that it takes too damn much time. I think most important of all, regardless of how hopeless life might seem at times, and I feel I'm helpless, I still can't help but hope.
I'm Cindy Friedman, and Marianne Pendino joins me now. She is the star and the author and the composer of all the music for her one-woman show, The Attitude Club, which has been appearing here in Houston since mid-July, and we'll talk about future plans for Marianne's show, The Attitude Club, in just a few minutes. Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Cindy. Welcome.
You wrote this show, sort of.
Yes, sort of. I actually like to think of it as it was channeled through me, you know. The more I get into writing and everything, the more I realize that I really don't write anything. It's like kind of given to me, you know. It sort of writes itself, and I can either accept it or not accept it. I can either go with it or not. So that's why I say it's really kind of channeled through.
Well, The Attitude Club is the name of the play, but within the play, tell us a little bit about The Attitude Club.
Okay. The Attitude Club is, it's a metaphor, really, and it's really something that's within each and every one of us, the Attitude Club, the ability to change our attitude. So yes, the whole play is set in the Attitude Club, and that is also the name of the play. And also, the audience is part of the Attitude Club as well. They get to participate. There's a lot of audience participation in the show. And at the Attitude Club, the central character and narrator, Marianne,
Played by
Marianne, right? Meets all these people along the way in the Attitude Club. And she learns something from each one of the characters based on what they share in the Attitude Club.
And all these characters are sort of composite characters that are your observations of people and events and feelings and search for self-help and truth. All these things are parts of these characters.
Right. Right.
And of course, each one sings and has their own number and all that as well.
Right.
But early in the show, Marianne, the narrator, your character,
right.
You talk about your search for learning meditation. You go to a doctor, you're stressed out, and the doctor recommends you got to do something about this stress and about meditation and your attempt to be able to calm your mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about that lead up to Little Voices.
Right. It's impossible for me to calm my mind. I mean, I'm looking for the answer to life, like we all are. We're all looking for the answer to life in something, in self-help, you know, in whatever, in vitamins, in alcohol, whatever. People are looking for the answer to life. And I'm willing to admit that something isn't quite right in my life. And so my physician doesn't recommend Valium, which I would prefer to take, but my physician recommends meditation. And so the song Little Voices is an exploration of my first meditation experience. It's supposed to help quiet the mind, but in fact what happens is it releases all these other things, sort of like a Pandora's box. And so the song is an exploration of what is going on in my mind, all the voices, all the things I should be doing, all the things I'm not doing. Why am I not doing them? You know, all the voices in your head that we all have in our head. But I think a lot of times people aren't willing to admit that the voices are in their head because you think you're kind of nuts. And if you talk to somebody and say, you know, my mind was doing this today, they, oh, that's nice, honey.
Or we keep ourselves so distracted that we can't hear the voices.
Right.
Oh, brother. What am am I gonna do with my life? I got too many thoughts going on in my mind. That's my problem.
Little voices making noises in my head.
In my head.
Always going, never knowing what I've said. Little voices, where do you come from? I've got to know. Oh, little voices, leave me alone.
All I want is a little peace and quiet. Unfortunately, when I got this brain, God forgot to show me where the volume controls were.
Little voices making noises in my head.
In my head.
Who am I anyway?
Got me thinking, sometimes wishing I was dead.
Now you're dead. 6 feet under.
In el Padre, el Figlio, Espíritu, y dámonos en biscuits.
Little voices, where do you come from? I've got to know. Oh, little voices, leave me alone.
Now, Miss Pendino, here are the results to your career counseling examination. You've tested out in the miscellaneous category. Ow! That's a good career.
Little voices making choices for my life. Oh!
Now, the only thing a good Catholic girl can do, and we know you're a good Catholic girl, Marianne, is to get married, have children, or go into the convent.
Be a mother, be a teacher, someone's wife.
I know a romance, so you're better than a wife. You may do whatever the hell you want with the bride.
Little voices, where do you come from? I've got to know. Oh, little voices, leave me alone. Every day I'm searching for an answer, looking for a place to call my own. Maybe God will let me have a transfer. Who am I anyway? How shall I be today? I look in a mirror, what do I see? Someone is staring, but it's not me. I am just a reflection of someone's projection. That's me.
Come on. Now, let's just calm down, take a deep breath, and let's review all our options.
Okay. I could fall in love, but that's not enough. 'Cause every time I fall in love, I just fall out of love. I hate that stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I could fly through the night to Peru. I could always convert to a Jew. It's so hard to believe all the voices in me. Oh God, please set me free. I'm confused. Re mi fa sol la ti do. Hey, with the voices in your head, you know you might be better off dead. Yeah, hey. To find inner peace, must I be deceased? Out of everyone I know that I'm the one I know the least. I would be so happy to go with the flow. It would be divine if I knew what I know. I would turn all my shoulds into coulds if I would, but I don't. Why I won't, I don't know. Should I get a crystal? Should I change my name? Read a book by Shirley MacLaine? Eat macrobiotic once or twice a day? Take a good colonic to clear out the way? How can I lose when there's so much to choose from these little voices? Where do you come from? I've got to know. Oh, little voices.
You better make some decisions with your life. You're not getting any younger, you know.
Little voices.
Oh,
honey, don't worry about it. It's just the hormones acting up. The PSM, she'll be all right.
Maybe meditation isn't such a good idea.
Just
Andrew.
why don't you get a real job?
I think that's what's happening.
Little voice says, leave me. Oh, God.
Look, why don't you really get serious here, huh? You know, only 1 in a million makes it.
Just relax.
And I don't think you're that one.
Come on, relax now.
Leave me alone, won't you leave me alone?
I realize that meditation is just too esoteric. It's just too way out there. I don't have time. I don't have the patience, you know, to spend the time to take whatever it's going to take in order to achieve enlightenment.
See, I'm the kind of girl who needs a little bit more to hold on to. I need some practical tools to work with, which is why I thought maybe a self-help workshop would be the answer to my problem. So I took this thing called the I'd Be Great If ... workshop. Now, it operated on the premise that our thoughts control our lives. So, if we want to change our lives, we would have to learn how to change our thoughts. But in order to change our thoughts, we would first of all have to become aware of them. Which, of course, thanks to meditation, for me, right now, is no problem because, like, I can't get away from my thoughts. Now, the I'd Be Great If ... workshop cost me $500, lasted 4.5 hours, and all we learned was this one little simple technique. We took out a piece of paper, wrote across the top of it, I'd be great if ... and then we made a list of all the things we would really have to have in order to truly be happy. Hey, I brought that list with me today. I'm kind of proud of it. In fact, I thought that I would really like to share a little bit of that list with you now. I'd be great if I had blonde hair, blue eyes, and I were a little taller. Big lips, small thighs, and I had $1 million. I could cope if I had a little house in River Oaks. I'd be great if I were 100% American instead of half Italian and half a Mexican. And I'd be fine if I drank a lot of milk instead of wine. I'd have the world on a string if I could only learn to fly. I'd turn the fall to spring. I'd do 1,000,000 things if I could just live someone else's life. I'd be great if I were happy and I didn't live my life in drama. Happy if I could erase my rotten karma. I'd be great if I didn't love the things I really hate. Now, I don't know if you guys are like I am, but every time I learn a new technique, I can't wait to shove it down somebody else's throat. He'd be great if he had lots of money and he wore designer breeches, called me honey and he had a few more inches. I mean taller. He'd be great if he bought me caviar instead of steak. He'd be great if he would treat me equal and he weren't so doggone macho. I wish he liked jalapenos on his nachos. He'd be great if he'd only do the things I allocate. I'd have the world on a string if he would only compromise. I only want a fling, is that so mean? But I'd make a better husband than a wife. I'd be great if I was single, and or maybe I could find another. Happy if I only had a dozen lovers. Svelte and glamorous if I lost a bit around my belt. I'd be swell if I didn't have to live through all this hell. I'd be great if I didn't love the things I really hate. Oy vey. Well, at the end of the workshop, they also asked us to take a few minutes out and to put together a gratitude list. You know, a list of all the things we could be grateful for. Well, I brought that list with me tonight as well.
I'm still working on that one.
I realized at the end of that, this isn't really it either, so.
Is that in the show? Is that where we're actually taken to the Attitude Club?
Yes, that's the point. After the self-help workshop, I'm walking out of the workshop and I notice a pamphlet on the ground and it says the Attitude Club. And so I look at it and there's a schedule of all the meetings and I decide, well, all right, I'll try this meeting. So I explain to the audience what my first meeting was like. And that's when you get to see the actual first character, Uwanda, who is the person who's leading the first meeting that I go to.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Attitude Club. My name is Uwanda, and I'm recovering from a bad attitude.
Hi, Uwanda. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Now, before we start, let's please have a moment of silence. That's good. Now, the Attitude Club is an esoteric organization which is loosely based on more common 12-step programs in operation today, like AA, ACA, OA, and CIA. I didn't know they were a 12-step program. No, that should be CODA, Codependence Anonymous. Somebody ought to fix that. Well, it's not my responsibility. Now, I know life is hard sometimes, and it may seem like the door of life is always slamming in your face. But when that happens, all you got to do is remember. Just remember, babies, all you ever have to do is knock and the door will open. Or seek and you shall find. Don't hesitate to create what you're seeing in your mind. Now it's never too late to feel good, baby. It's never too late to start. So if you want to begin, just reach on in and open up your heart. It's never too late. It's never too late. Listen to me, babies. It's never too late. It's never too late. Now if your mind's on fire and you're thinking that you've had enough, you can put out the flame. You can call my name and come on down to the Attitude Club. Now I want you to put your hands together for me. Come on, show me. Find the beat anywhere you can find the beat. Come on, there you go. That's all right. On the beat's good too. I'm gonna teach you something that has meant a lot to me in my life. You can change it or rearrange it. You got the power, to change your life. And you're gonna try that with me. You can change it. Here, you can change it. Okay, now rearrange it. Here we go. Rearrange it, cause you got the power. Here we go. You got the power, to change your life. Come on, to change your life. I'm gonna do it with you one more time. Now you can change it. Here we go. You can change it. Woo, you sounding good now. Come on, rearrange it. Babies, come on, cause you got the power. Come on. Woo, yeah, good. Come on, to do what? Okay, now tell me on your own. What can you do? Oh, that's good. Now what else can you do? Rearrange it. Cause why? To do what? Oh yeah, I think you got it now. You can change it. Yes, you can change it, baby. Rearrange it. Yeah, you can turn it around. You got the power to change your life. Ooh, yeah, come on. Yes, you can change it. Rearrange it, turn it inside up and upside down. Cause you got the power. 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 You got the power to change your life. Yes, rearrange it. What else can you do? You got the power. It's close. It's close. To do what? Now tell me, baby. Come on. That's good. That's good. You told me that. Knock and the door will open, baby. Seek and you shall find. But don't hesitate to create what you see in your mind. Now It's never too late to feel good, baby. It's never too late to start. 'Cause if you want to begin, just reach on in and open up your heart. And all you ever have to do is open up your heart. 'Cause I'm telling you, open up your heart.
In the progression, in the development of this play, The Attitude Club, I know it started way back a few years ago, and Yolanda, who now directs The Attitude Club, was a character in another show you did at Stages,
Right.
or it was like a reading, wasn't it?
Yes. At that point, it was called The Art of Living, and then it transformed itself into One Woman, a Million Laughs, and now it's The Attitude Club. But it's basically the same evolution of that piece that started in 1988 at Stages. In the reading, there was one character, Yolanda, and she was at the Attitude Club, and basically her monologue is still intact today. But that was just one character in a larger piece. Since then, I threw out everything but kept the one character, and actually that became the premise for this whole show, you know, 5 years later.
Was it difficult to throw out the stuff you threw out? I mean, do you feel like it's like a part of yourself or your child in some way?
Well,
I
yeah.
often wonder about playwrights and in being willing to recognize this has got to go,
Right.
but something better may come in its place.
Yes. Well, that's the hardest thing to do, because you spend all this time amassing all this material, and then you realize that it's not working, but you're so attached, or not working together, maybe it would work in somewhere else, and you're so attached to it because it's got to work, you know, I've spent so much time working on this. But then you learn, no, it doesn't have to work, and you also learn to trust that there's going to be a whole lot more material that'll come to you, you know. I mean, 2 years later, I have 2 hours of solid material and other material on the shelf that can be explored some other time in another piece if it fits. It's a willingness to let go of the things that don't work. And it's sort of, that's the way it is in life,
Yeah.
you know.
My guest is Marianne Pendino, star and author of The Attitude Club. I'm Cindy Friedman. Let's talk about the music a little bit.
Okay.
All these various characters tell something about their lives, some issue they're dealing with, some feeling they're trying to get in touch with, or some change they're trying to make in their lives. And they all have a song, and the music is so varied.
Yes.
Marianne, I mean, what was the inspiration for the various kinds of music? Or did you just kind of, like you said, channel the character and then let the music come?
The music in heaven. Yes, all that is true. There were some conscious choices, obviously, that I made, and one was I wanted to explore as many musical styles as possible. And this piece allowed me to do that. It was the perfect venue for that, because I love all musical styles. I love musical theater, I love rock and roll, I love country and western, I like jazz, and so the piece lent itself perfectly to that. And it was real clear, you know, once the character was developed, what kind of song they would sing and in what style. So I had a lot of fun exploring the different styles of music, because
Yeah.
I've never been able to settle on one, you know, genre.
Right. I've seen you do a lot of musical comedy style music over the years in Houston.
Right.
But speaking of country music, one of the characters, Thelma Lou,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about Thelma Lou. She lives down in Pasadena, doesn't
Yes,
she?
she does, girl. She lives down in Pasadena in a trailer house, and she comes to the Attitude Club to work on practicing patience. Because she lives in I live with 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a mobile home that tilts to one side if everybody's on the same side of the house at the same time. Hell, I must be the only mother in this mobile home community whose kids take Dramamine with their afternoon snack.
Sometimes I don't even think you are my children. Mm-mm. I think something must have happened in the hospital. Must have switched you out by accident or something. Somewhere. My real children. Are behaving themselves. Behaving themselves in a mobile home community on the other side of town. I think I'm just getting too old for this shit. I'm sorry, baby. Mama didn't mean to cuss. Damn it, the hell.
Seems to be some great influence by Lily Tomlin. Is that?
Yeah, she's my hero. I love you, Lily. If you're out there, I love you.
You told me a story one time about seeing Lily Tomlin in one of her one-woman shows here in Houston.
Yes.
And the inspiration.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was quite a profound experience, you know, and sometimes I wonder if it really even happened, you know. But she was performing, and my friend Kiki Newman, God bless Kiki Newman, took me to this performance because she knew that I had this goal to do a one-woman show one day in my life. You know, I thought, I don't know what came to the idea. I want to do this one day. She says, well, let me show you someone who really knows what they're doing. So she took me to the performance, and we're sitting up there, and I'm watching Lily Tomlin, and all of a sudden, it seemed like the audience parted, and there was this beam of light from Lily Tomlin straight to me that went, whoosh, you will do this one day, you know? And then it was like the audience came back, the light went away, and Lily was back in her monologue. But it was like the weirdest experience. And I don't doubt that it happened. You know, at the time, it was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe it didn't happen. You never know how to explain things like that. But I've thought of it several times. And in fact, it's the weirdest thing. I've had dreams over the years with Lily Tomlin, and Jane Wagner were in my dreams. And Jane Wagner, as I was writing the script, Jane Wagner would always befriend me in my dreams. But Lily was always way off somewhere and would just kind of look at me at a distance, wouldn't talk to me. You know? And as the show got closer and closer and I was more into the performance aspect of it, it's like they were both there, you know, in these dreams. And they were always in odd situations, you know, I mean, in situations that made no sense to me. But again, as the show got closer and closer to performance, then Lily started. It was like I was embracing, I guess, these aspects of myself, the Jane Wagner aspect and the Lily Tomlin aspect or something, until we were all having lunch one day, you know, in the Bahamas or something. I mean, I don't know. You know, it was like that.
Yeah.
Strange.
It's
strange.
really great. Well, you know, there are similar qualities. I've only seen your show, The Attitude Club, 3 or 4 times by now, but the audience is drawn into it.
Yes.
And it's not really like a concert by Marianne Pendino, which people may have seen. I mean, your stand-up kind of stuff, and I know you've worked with, years back, with Comedy Workshop, and even Spellbinders here in town. But it's not a concert. They're drawn into it.
Yes.
And so many different topics are covered.
Yes.
And I'd like to talk about those a little bit. I mean, really, they range not only from the beginning of the show, where Marianne is attempting to calm her mind and learn meditation, but jumps over to teenage pregnancy and environmentalism and other issues as well. But let's talk about Rebecca.
Okay.
Tell me about Rebecca.
Rebecca is the 16-year-old in the show. She's a pregnant 16-year-old. Actually, we don't know in the monologue if she's pregnant or not, because her whole...
She might be.
She might be, right, because her whole monologue takes place during, while she and her boyfriend are waiting for an early pregnancy test, the results to an early pregnancy test. I've been really affected about teenage pregnancy for a long time. Being a woman, it concerns me. Being a feminist, it concerns me. Regardless of whether you're pro-choice or, what's that other one? Oh, pro-life. Oh, yeah. I mean, I try to honor both sides. I really do.
Are they on cable access?
Oh, they soon will be. I know, girl. No, they're down at Planned Parenthood trying to break down the doors. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Love everyone, judge not. Anyway, so I was just concerned about, you know, not so much what we're going to do politically about this thing, but about the dilemma itself. And in the show, I don't make a statement for pro-choice or for pro-life. I just want to explore this dilemma, this teenage dilemma. And so that's what Rebecca's monologue is all about. And she is an upper middle class Jewish teenager who we don't think of upper middle class, whether they're Jewish or Catholic or whatever, we don't think of them as getting pregnant.
Who's also the child of a sex therapist
and a clinical psychologist. So it's like this kid's got every possible bit of information she can have, yet it still happens. Part of it is because teenagers, one, don't think they're they think they're invincible and they're not vulnerable to things. It's not going to happen to me. We have to continue to educate these teenagers. In workshopping the piece, I went to an upper middle class to wealthy school, a private school here in town, to work this piece with 16-year-olds who were going to school. And they really were very helpful in helping me develop the monologue, because I wanted to get someone or get the input of the character that I was developing.
If you're just joining us, I'm Cindy Friedman, and my guest is Marianne Pendino, whose one-woman show, The Attitude Club, has been running here in Houston since mid-July, and will continue on for a while, and then the plans are endless. It may tour across Texas or the U.S. Who knows where it's going next. I want to ask you a little bit more about the development of some of the characters. One of the characters is a young British art teacher named Mary. And tell me a little bit about her and some of the techniques you used in developing her character as well as some of the others.
Okay. Mary was an interesting exploration. She was the very last character to make it into the show. And I went to Whole Foods, which is, we know where Whole Foods is. That's the great hangout, you know, for people like us. Went to Whole Foods to get a coffee and sit down and eat a pastry, because I was wrestling with Destiny, because at the time I didn't want Destiny to be a lesbian. I wanted her to be a straight feminist, and no, she wanted to be a lesbian. So we went to Whole Foods to have a conversation about it. And I was writing, you know, making notes and trying to figure out a way to deal with this. And a friend of mine comes in, whose name is Mary, and she is a visual artist, and she tells me about this experience that she had about getting fired from a job in a school because the teacher didn't like the project that she was working with, and she was working with these collages, working with the concepts of opposites. And like one kid decided that he was going to use pretty and ugly, and he had these skinny white women on one side of his collage, and then he had these naked Aborigine women on the other side of his collage. And the teachers just thought, well, I can't have nudity in the classroom, and made him put little black, you know, strips of construction paper over the genitalia. And so Mary was telling me about this story, and it's a really poignant story. And as she left, this song kept coming over in my head. There ain't no difference between me and you, sort of a rock kind of a tune.
I may be different, but I'm different just like you. You may see black and white until you're black and blue. My coffee cup may be half empty or half full, but there ain't no difference between me and you. I may be a Catholic and you might be a Jew. You might see Jesus Christ or follow some new age guru. Maybe there's an afterlife, maybe no one's got a clue. And there ain't no difference between me and you. There ain't no difference, 'cause everybody's innocent. There ain't no difference, baby, no difference in the truth. You may not like the way I walk into a room. I may not want to play with someone who wears funky shoes. Now, don't matter how you move, it's all the same damn groove. And there ain't no difference between me and you. There ain't no difference, 'cause everybody's innocent. There ain't no difference, baby, no difference in the truth. There ain't no difference. Everybody's innocent. There ain't no difference, no difference in the truth. No difference between me and you, and there's no difference in the truth. Yeah! 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 Ha!
So that's how that sort of developed. And also then to sort of get into the characters themselves, every single one of my character has a collage. So I take images that would be important to that character.
You made visual collages, like poster boards?
Like poster boards of each and every character. Like Thelma Lou would, you know, probably have a picture of Elvis and, you know, chicken fried steak and just a bunch of other images. So each character had a collage. So when I'm working on a character, I take out the collage, I put it in front of me, I look at the collage, I spend time making the collage, and, you know, and it's a good visual aid. And then each one of them also has a journal that I make journal entries into for that character as that character.
Numerous monologues that help the characters progress and let us, the audience, know what you're talking about and where you're going. And I'd like to know, well, your experience with monologue and how you've been, what has brought you to this moment in the use of monologues.
I have observed a number of monologists in my experience here. As I observed, like Spalding Gray, again, Lily Tomlin, Whoopi Goldberg, and so I've always had an affection for the one person telling a story. And in the Attitude Club, again, I am the central character and the narrator. That's sort of the main through line, the story. And I talk about all the things that I have gone through in order to try and find peace within myself. Like we said, we start with little voices. That's, you know, meditation, that's not working. Start with self-help workshops. Well, that's not working. Find this Attitude Club. Well, something's working here, but I'm not sure what. These people are weird, but maybe I'll stick around for a while. Then I learn about something called self-esteem.
I have discovered that there are a number of things that can really affect one's self-esteem. For example, the amount of money I have can really affect my self-esteem. Because, like, I never have any, you know? But a friend of mine told me in a meeting one time that maybe I should want to work with this affirmation, right? I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy. I thought for the heck of it, on the count of 3, we could all say together, I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy. Doesn't that feel great? Oh, I know. So, like, I'm doing this thing hundreds of times a day whenever I have a chance, right? I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy. I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy while I'm driving down the freeway. I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy. I deserve to be prosperous and wealthy while I'm waiting in the unemployment line. And I get so excited about this technique, I even record it into my Walkman and I fall asleep to it at night. Anyway, after doing this affirmation for, like, I don't know, 6 months without any change in my financial situation, my friend suggested a new affirmation. It's okay to be poor. It's okay. That one seems to work out fairly well.
Also, in the show, you take aim at a lot of alternative therapies, not just the psychotherapy you have referred to.
Right. I decided, hey, I'm going to really go out on a limb. I want to try some alternative therapy, you know. You know, people, if you have a problem or something, the big thing right now is like using crystals or carrot juice to fix your medical problems, or visualizing your chakras being aligned and cleaning out all your blood vessels and your organs and everything, you know. It's like this cosmic cleansing as opposed to going and getting, you know, whatever, an antacid from your doctor or something.
I had this little medical problem a while back, and I decided that I wanted to try some alternative therapy. So I tried Chinese herbs, I tried crystal therapy, I drank carrot juice. One person says I got a block in my root chakra and I should visualize red light. Another one says, oh no, the block's in your crown chakra, you need to use white light. Still, one person can't find any blocks at all. Seems like the only thing these people can agree on are the $65 an hour they're charging me. And some of this stuff is painful, too. Pressure points here, adjustments there. One time I had this 250-pound massage therapist walking from one end of my butt to the other. Actually, it felt pretty good. It's just that when I got up, my pants were too short. You know, and the results of this kind of stuff are very, very subtle, you know? I'm the kind of person who needs evidence, you know?
I mean, heck, you get an appendectomy, you go into the hospital, you get a $5,000 bill and a scar. This is evidence. You get a cosmic chakra cleansing, how the hell you know you got what you paid for? And suppose you don't. What do? Take these people to court? You know, I know this might sound ridiculous, but I think this new age metaphysical world we're all living in has probably opened up this whole new specialty area for attorneys, you know? I mean, heck, I can just see the cocktail conversation now. So, you're with Baker Bother Butts and Bottoms Up. What's your specialty? I'm an esoteric metaphysical attorney. I concentrate on things like, you know, chakra fraud, colonic catastrophes, stuff like that. I know it sounds ridiculous, but frankly, I think we have created a need for this kind of legal assistance.
The characters range from Thelma Lou, who's down in the trailer home in Pasadena, to the 16-year-old girl, Rebecca, who may be pregnant, to the lesbian feminist character, Destiny, to Marianne herself, and of course Mary, the British art teacher. And near the end of the show, there's a guru. Yes. And it's so refreshing and it's so delightful. And I had always assumed the inspiration for that character was one of the male East Indian teachers that abound. And you suggested to me she's really modeled after a female East Indian teacher.
Yes.
Tell me about Guru.
Guru is modeled after Guru Mai Chidvilasananda, if that is how you say it, and I hope it is, and I think it is. She's a guru that, Siddha Yoga. She's Siddha Yoga's guru. And I've been to a number of these meditations and the meetings, and I really love what she has to say, you know. But one of the things that was always disturbing me was people, it's probably all about me, which is the part I hate, but, because I'm finally getting that, okay, it's always about you. And does this little bit have to be about me? Yes, it all is about you. But I used to get really disturbed. I'd go in there and people would, you know, they'd go up and they, you know, start the meeting and they go, and we owe it all to the guru, you know, and we owe it all to carrot juice, and we owe it all to whatever. And I thought, these people are giving up their lives, you know, giving it away to the guru, giving it away to Christ, giving it away, and I never liked that. Okay, I understand that now more, what it's all about. But, so I thought, well, if I was a guru and these people were giving themselves up for me, you know, I would think that they weren't getting what I was saying. And I wouldn't want to be, and to me that would make me feel like I was being a codependent guru, you know? And so I started to write if the guru was going to tell people what she really wanted them to know, and that was be yourself.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Guru. Welcome.
Tonight I thought perhaps we could talk about what is meant by the self. You see, it is said that there is only one self which permeates the entire universe. And that our only task in life is to simply realize this self. Well, to tell you the truth right now, I'm having a very big problem to focus on myself. It's terribly embarrassing, because that is what I am supposed to be teaching. I'm supposed to be teaching people how to focus on themselves. But in reality, what happens to me is I find myself focusing on everybody focusing on themselves. To tell you the truth, I did not want to be the guru. Frankly, I wanted to go into real estate. You know, one does not go to the university to study to be a guru, you know. It is not something that one makes application for. No. You are part of a lineage, and when you are part of this lineage, you cannot tell these people you don't want to do it. Can you imagine me saying to my guru, "Excuse me, Babaji, but really, I would prefer to be a commercial real estate developer. This would not happen. So now I am the guru. And what I don't understand is why everyone wants to put me before themselves. I cannot take this responsibility. I will not be a codependent guru. Do you know what guru stands for? G-U-R-U. See, sometimes it takes a little while to get it, but you get it. That is the same for life. Take a little while to get it, but sometime you will get. Don't worry, you get it.
Does Marianne come back?
Yes.
Some sort of...
Marianne comes back after the guru. And what the guru says to everyone is that do not follow my path. Follow your own path. Follow your own journey. I am not your hero. You are your own hero. You are all heroes. And the show ends with a song called Heroes on a Journey, because I think that's something that I've come to terms with. I think that's really what we all are. You know, we hear, oh yes, you're all on a path, we're all on a journey. And it's true. And we're all heroes. No one person is better than the other person. Everybody has their own thing to deal with. And each person is a hero in their own lives.
Marianne's one-woman show, The Attitude Club, has been running at Main Street Theatre here in Houston since July. It's been extended twice. And I understand now you're trying to work out the details to perhaps continue it on indefinitely at Main Street on weekends or on Sundays.
On Sundays. Because they have to, you know, obviously open up their new shows. I mean, it's a repertory theater.
You can't just take over their season.
Yeah, can't just take over. It's not like, you know, New York, you put a show in, it runs forever. It's sort of different here, I think, you know.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen that happen was at the Comedy Workshop with a show called The Two-Bit Opera and Opry. And that thing ran for like a year or something like that, but it's sort of a different thing. So we're trying to work out the details to maybe continue running on Sunday nights at Main Street. So if people want to know, call 524-6706 for information.
That number again
is 524-6706.
At Main Street Theatre.
Right. And it might be somewhere else too. We might do Friday and Saturday somewhere. I don't know. We'll see.
Keep in touch.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Aside from working on this show and the performance and all that it has taken to get the show mounted and running, you've been working with kids now for a few years.
Yes.
And I'd like to know a little bit about that. I mean, I always hear you saying, well, I got a class to teach, and I'm wondering, what are you doing? What are you doing with these children?
What are you doing with these kids? What I do is I teach drama, theater games. I use theater games as a basis to work with children. I do it for elementary, middle school, and high school. Sometimes I might do an opera residency where I work with a group of kids for a period of 10 weeks, 3 months or so, something like that. And the children write their own opera. And so I do that. Or they might write a play. Most of the time it's process-oriented and not product-oriented, which I much prefer. It be process-oriented, because when you're product-oriented, then your whole focus goes on the end goal, the end result. This way, if we're process-oriented, we just sort of, you know, explore what we're doing right now, whatever the activity is right then. And I do a lot of improvisation. And I do this with pre-K kids, you know, all the way up to high school kids. This year, I'll be going to Harvard Elementary. Hi, kids, just in case you see it. And
there's Miss Pendino.
Right. And I'm working with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades.
I can just see it now. Your next show will be about theater games with children. But using theater like that, particularly when the literacy skills are poor, is a great way of expression for them.
And developing vocabulary and sentence structure, you know, and all kinds of things. So it's very helpful.
Right.
And
and I'm sure they also get a good laugh.
Right, they do. Well, they see me do some pretty stuff. I mean, just watching me do these exercises with them is, you know, they never see people do stuff like that.
Yeah, really.
So it's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. Are you from Houston?
No, I'm from Tampa, Florida. Mm-hmm.
Say it.
Tampa, Florida. I wanted to say it the right way, and then it came Florida. Tampa, Florida. And I grew up in a half Cuban, half Italian neighborhood in Tampa, Florida. And I'm half. See, we don't know. We don't know if it's Cuban or Spanish. It's half Spanish and it's half Italian. I know that. So, Yeah.
And
That's
how did you sort of like make your way across the Gulf to Houston?
I escaped. Well, let's see, I graduated from high school in Tampa, and then I was going to college at Florida State University, majoring in psychology because I knew I could save people that way.
Little did you know, years later you would be writing a show about psychologists.
Saving myself. You don't know that at 18, you know. And I took a couple of drama courses. That's really what I wanted to do, was drama and music, but I felt real intimidated. Oh, I can't do this, I don't know anything, you know, low self-esteem. I mean, here I've been playing piano since I was 6. You know, I'd had voice lessons, guitar lessons, dance lessons. I had everything you could possibly have, yet I thought, oh, I can't do this, I have to do something practical. I'll be a psychologist, you know. So after 5 years and no degree, I decided, well, I didn't decide. My friend Joni forced me, actually. She wasn't sure what she was doing at the University of Florida, which was in Gainesville, and she said, let's move out to Texas because Larry, her brother, he's out there, they're making a lot of money in construction, and we can live with him. So we moved out to Texas and lived with like 8 guys in a 2-bedroom apartment, all these burly construction workers, and we got jobs doing construction, and that's where I got to Houston. And then one of the construction workers, this woman on the job, said, "You're pretty funny. There's a place called the Comedy Workshop. You should go over there. Let's go take an improv course." And so we did. And that just kind of started the whole thing, you know. It was kind of fun.
Great. That's good to know that you haven't, like, you know, studied, followed a real, you know, studied course of acting. There's a lot of life experience in there as well. And on opening night, when the show opened at Main Street Theatre, your parents, I mean, like in your real life, your parents were in the audience. They came in from Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
And I wondered how that felt for you, talking about all these experiences from your childhood and your inner child, and just other issues we all have. We carry around a lot of baggage from our parents emotionally, and some of it's good and some not so good, and you talk about it all, and just how it felt to have your folks in the audience.
Well, it felt really great, I mean, to have them there. I mean, because I finally gotten to a point here, now that I'm 24 years old, where I can just be who I am, and it's taken a long time, you know, and I thought I really talk about, I mean, here you are going to play a lesbian character in front of your parents, you're going to do this inner child stuff, you're going to talk about being raised Catholic, you know. They know, they were there, you know. So I, you know, at first it was like, well, I got to do it, and I want them to see what I've evolved into. And they need to see this, and if they accept it, well, they accept it, and if they don't, they don't. And my mother came up to me after the show, and she said, "Honey, it's perfect." And I went, "I've been in therapy for 10 years to hear that from you." So now she finally says it's perfect. There's nothing I would change. That last show of yours, but this show, it's perfect. You know, so I got this approval. My father, you know, he thought, my father's really great too. He said, "Honey, I'm so proud of you. You're so talented. Now I can die." And that's really all they've ever wanted for me. You know, I'm an only kid. All they want is for me to be happy and really do what I want to do. And now they're saying, well, she's been at this all these years. I guess this is really what she's pretty good, too. I mean, they were laughing their heads off. And I don't even think they got half the jokes, you know. Because they're like in their 70s. They're these little old Italian people. You know, my mother says, "What, you think I don't know these things?" You know, and they read, they see things, and they just got it. And it was the greatest experience in the world.
That's wonderful. I wish you the greatest success and continuing on with the Attitude Club.
Thank you.
Because as you can see, and as you can see as well, not only is it entertaining, but there's great inspiration, and we learn something about ourselves, too, in experiencing the show with you.
Thank you.
My guest has been Marianne Pendino, who is the author and composer and star of her one-woman show, The Attitude Club. I'm Cindy Friedman.
Well, today I'm still kind of searching for that perfect spiritual practice, you know. And I figure as long as I can just pick up a few tools along the way to help me dig through my stuff, I'll be doing okay. And frankly, it is quite a relief to know that at times the answer to life is that there is no answer. And that regardless of where I think I might be going, there's really nowhere to get. Boy, am I glad I've been getting that. reaching for the light. We'll make it through together to the other side. And when we're through, we'll all be dancing in the light. Heroes on a journey. You can clap if you want to. There you go. Heroes on a journey. Yes. Heroes on a journey, and we're here to make it right. Heroes on a journey, are here to save our lives. We'll make it through together to the other side. And when we're through, we'll all be dancing in the light. Heroes on a journey. Heroes on a journey. I walk along through miles of tribulation. I'm giving up my life. I sing a song and I embrace my revelations. I'm not afraid to know the power deep inside. Yes, it worked. We were going to try and have them drop on your heads, but we didn't have the budget. Here, you get to play with balloons. Imagine them dropping on your heads, though. Heroes on a journey. There you go, Glenda. Heroes on a journey. I walk alone, and there's just one destination. The only way out is through. I sing a song, 'cause I'm seeking my salvation. And it's the only thing that I ever have to do. Heroes on a journey. Heroes on a journey. Here we go. Oh! I'm a hero, you're a hero. Everybody here's a hero. I'm a little hero, you're a little hero. Everybody here's a little hero. Black people are heroes. White people are heroes. And green and yellow and even purple people eaters are heroes too. Even Republicans are heroes. And those Democrats are heroes too. Yes, everybody here tonight is a hero. And Main Street Theater is a hero. And I thank you all so very much for being here tonight. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.